Last night, Reality Check told you about what the fiscal cliff deal really means for American workers. But not everyone had to sacrifice. In fact, some major corporations and banks did very well thanks to some pre-planning. Ben explains in a Reality Check you won't see anywhere else.
As we've told you, for 80% of Americans making over $40,000 a year, they're going to see smaller paychecks beginning immediately, all thanks to that fiscal cliff deal that did not bother to address extending a Social Security payroll tax cut. But while taxes on millions of Americans, not just the wealthy, are going up, some of the biggest corporations and banks received huge tax break extensions. As we've told you, that included $430 million for Hollywood through special expensing rules to encourage TV and film production in the U.S. $331 million for railroads and tax breaks, $222 million for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands on taxes collected on rum, $70 million for NASCAR, extending a 7-year cost recovery period for certain motorsports racing track facilities, $59 million for algae growers through tax credits, and $4 million for electric motorcycle makers by expanding an existing green energy tax credit. And that is just the beginning. During the summer of 2012, a group of Washington lobbyists were tapped to work on these tax extensions. General Electric and Citigroup, for instance, hired one firm to extend a tax provision that allows multinational corporations to defer U.S. taxes by moving profits offshore. It's called active financing exception. But you might know it as the way GE avoids nearly all U.S. corporate income tax. According to the Washington Examiner, that's not all, because the K Street firm Capital Tax Partners, led by Treasury Department alumni from the Clinton administration, well, besides financial clients like Citi, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley, CTP represented green energy companies like GE and the American Wind Energy Association. These companies won extension and expansion of the production tax credit for wind energy. Well, Hollywood hired CTP too. The Motion Picture Association of America won that extension on tax credits for film production. In all, 50 tax credit extensions were crammed into a finance bill sponsored by Senator Max Baucus. That was during the summer, but the bill didn't go anywhere. Now, here's where the story by the Washington Examiner gets really interesting, because a Republican Senate aide familiar with the cliff negotiations says that the White House wanted permanent extensions of a whole slew of corporate tax credits. When Senate Republicans said no, the White House insisted that the exact language of the Baucus bill be included in the fiscal cliff deal. They were absolutely insistent, another aide tells me, end quote. So go back and check the exact language of the bill, and it's there. Title II of the fiscal cliff legislation is nearly a word-for-word replication of the Family and Business Tax Cut Certainty Act of 2012, sponsored by Senator Max Baucus, August 2nd of 2012. What this means for you is unfortunately what you may already know. Talk of everyone needing to pay their fair share is not extended to corporations like GE or banks like Citi, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley. Maybe because the lobbyists and the people working for them, well, they've been fighting for their tax breaks since the summer. The people working for us, well, maybe that's the problem. Is anyone in Washington actually working for the people anymore? Sure doesn't seem like it. And that is Reality Check.
You can find the sources for this story posted on our website, fox19.com. If you'd like to make your voice heard on the story, head over to Ben's Facebook page. Find it by searching Ben Swan.